Alright, so in this vid, as y'all can see by the title, we finna be talking about why Bandai needs to sell the rights to anime games, bro. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna lie, after that stunt they pulled today, it's getting to the point where I'm almost 100% sure they need to sell the rights to anime games, bro. If y'all don't know what just happened today, they released the V jump skins for the Daima DLC for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And it was terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it's not really that good a DLC. It's definitely lackluster for a game that's in a terrible state right now. And that basically the only thing that's gonna keep the game alive would be the DLC. And just for the fact that the only thing that they were thinking about using to keep the game alive was the DLC, we need other companies running these anime games. I'm sorry, bro. And that doesn't mean that, you know, we can't get another Tenkaichi game or we can't get another Storm game, because those games are directed, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how you would call it, or developed. Those games are developed by different companies. Like Spike Chunsoft is the one that develops Sparking Zero, and I forget what the name of the company that develops Storm, but the company that publishes these games, and they always are going to be under, will be Bandai. But before we get too deep into the video, let me go ahead and get my intro in. Alright, what's good with y'all niggas, bruh? It's Don Coolio coming at y'all with another video. In this video, like I said, we finna be talking about why Bandai need to go ahead and get them rights away, bro. I'm sorry. It's getting to the point where it seems like every single game that Bandai is releasing anime-wise, because they got some good, like, regular games. Bandai doesn't just publish anime games, which is kind of crazy. You know, you wouldn't even think about it, but they actually, if I'm not mistaken, they publish Elden Ring. And even though I've never played Elden Ring, y'all might probably ask me to play that shit soon. But even though I have not played Elden Ring, I know that's a great game, because everybody that I talk to about it says it's a great game, and it's been a great game since it came out, right? However, the past few anime games that have come out have been, I'm not gonna lie, they've been lackluster. The past few just fighters that have came out when it comes to this game have been letdowns, in my opinion. Like, even when we go back and we look at Tekken, or not go back, but even when we look at Tekken right now, Tekken is in a bad state. I got my boy Lilo's Adventure telling me, he letting me know, like, man, Tekken is so bad right now. They got it to where, if I'm not mistaken, there's this combo that you literally can't do nothing about. And I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, it's some bot that people got on Discord or some shit where it literally will rank your account up for you. Like, it'll literally, like, just do this shit for you. I don't know how it worked, but it's some shit, bro. It's some shit, bro. And it's a lot of stuff going on with that game. Apparently, it's a glitch on there, too, like on Sparking Zero, where you can run in, or not run into people, but go through people's bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, Bandai needs to go ahead and they need to go ahead and just get the rights away, bro. In my opinion, at least to some anime games, like, maybe just, like I said, maybe just some of them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they keep the rights to, like, Dragon Ball Xenoverse and then let Sparking be ran by, or get published by a different company from now on. Because, like, even though they probably don't make another Sparking game, because I definitely wouldn't if I was them. Because it's not going to do as good as this one that just came out. It's not going to do anywhere near as good. But it's getting to the point where it's like, bro, it seems like every release that they drop, it's just not doing that good, bro. Unless it's some game like Elden Ring, it's just not doing that well. And like I said, Elden Ring is a great game. I'm not going to take nothing away from Bandai when it comes to that. But when it comes to all the anime fighters and just the fighters in general that they have been releasing in the past few years, they have just been a little bit lackluster. And they weren't as good. They were not as good as the last ones that they made. Like, the last few anime fighters, or just fighter games in general, that Bandai has made, they weren't nowhere near as bad as these ones. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They just didn't have as much negativity surrounding it. Even if they did have a mistake that was in the game, it wasn't like the game was just surrounded by negativity. I feel as though Sparking Zero is surrounded by negativity. I feel like Storm Connection is surrounded by negativity. I feel like a lot of the anime games that they make nowadays are surrounded by negativity. We can even look at the Bleach game, for example. The Bleach game, in my opinion, from the feedback that I've gotten from people in my Discord server, and the feedback that I've just gotten and seen online from certain people, aside from President Rose is really probably one of the only people that I've seen that just, like, talk crazy about that game. That game actually don't seem like it's that bad, but it's just so much negativity surrounding it, bro. It's just so much negativity surrounding that game because it released without certain stuff in it. It released without certain things. And when you make these games, I don't know if the companies realize this, or if y'all, I don't know, have y'all heard of the 48 Laws of Power? Impressions are everything, bro. That's one of the laws. Impressions are everything. First impressions are basically everything. So when these games come out and they first impression is that it's trash, it's gonna stay that way, and it ain't nothing they can do. It ain't nothing they can do. So why keep releasing these games lacklusterly? Is that a word? I think it's a word. But yeah, they keep releasing these games in such a lackluster manner that is like, bro, if put it like this, bro. Like, and I don't know, like I said, I'm pretty sure they be having like time constraints that they trying to release these games in. And maybe that's why they be coming out in such bad states and why the lifespan of the game is just bad in general. I think that's why, bro, because they always trying to meet some type of deadline that they really don't have to meet, bro. You know, they really don't have to meet that deadline. Like I said, when it came to Sparking Zero, they was trying to release that at the same time as Daima. And when it came to Storm Connection, they tried to release that at the same time. I think it was like a Naruto 20th anniversary or something like that. And that's the only reason they made that game. And that's why it's so crazy, because the Storm series in itself was probably the best anime game series ever. And it was probably going to stay that way forever. You know what I'm saying? It was probably never going to be touched. But now they actually have a chink in their armor because of Storm Connection. Storm Connections actually wasn't even a planned game. If y'all don't remember, whenever Storm 4 came out, they already had said that was going to be the last Storm game they ever made. So if we think about it like that, it's like, bro, why are we getting another Storm game? There was no reason. There was no reason. How about just releasing content for the Storm game that's already out? But no, they wanted to make money. They wanted to capitalize on that opportunity, which was the 20th anniversary in art. So they was like, what's our most popular gaming franchise? Storm, right? So obviously that's what they did, bro. And it's crazy, like, it's crazy that like we as people can sit here and see past their schemes, and the fact that they just sit here and lie to us back and forth. They just lie back and forth. Even on Sparking, they made it seem like we was finna be able to like put different color auras on different characters and just do all this different stuff. And here it is, we can't do that. We can't do that. You know, and it's just false advertising. They advertised Storm Connections as it was finna be a game where you was gonna play through the entire Naruto series, like all the games, like they was finna be able to just put all the stories into one game. Did they do that? Hell no. They missed out a lot of crucial moments, and it was just lackluster. And that's the thing, it's just lackluster. It's like all they do is just add a few new features, take out a bunch of good stuff from the last game, make it more unbalanced, and then just drop it without testing it out, without, you know, seeing what's really broken about the game. But like I said, man, I just feel as though they need to sell the rights. I don't know what company would take the rights from them for certain games. Like I said, if they still want to have, I know they wouldn't. They probably ain't. They ain't gonna do this anyways. But it's just honest. That's just what it seems like they need to do at this point, bro. Bandai is not doing a good job withholding these anime games now. It's like they just doing shit for money. They just doing shit for money, bro, at this point, in my opinion. And it's getting annoying. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about that. Y'all let me know, do y'all think Bandai needs to sell certain rights to certain games to a different company that's going to run it better? And see, what I think that would do is also just provide a little competition for Bandai so that they would have to get their shit together. Even they had to get their shit together for real, because it seems like any company that doesn't have a worthy rival, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you could think about it in terms of Goku and Vegeta. Shit, without Goku, that nigga Vegeta wouldn't be who he is. And without Vegeta, that nigga Goku wouldn't be who he is, because he would have never had that nigga that challenged him. And that's the same thing that's tag is when it comes to anything in life, bro. You need something challenging you so you can keep getting better. If they don't have nobody challenging them, pushing them to be a better company, then they never will be. And it's that simple. If they don't have no companies out there that's trying to gun for that top spot that they got, they not going to do what they need to do to keep it. Because now they can basically release anything at this point, and, you know, anybody going to buy it, because that's the only source of the anime games that they got. You know what I'm saying? They not getting that from no other companies out there gaming wise, you know? So it's just sad, honestly, at this point. It's getting real bad. And since there ain't no other companies, like I just said, Bandai's the only gaming company that's going to, like, basically get sales for these games. So it don't matter what happened. Like with Sparking Zero, they probably view Sparking Zero as a major success, just simply because of how it sold off rip. They probably view Storm Connections as a major success just from how maybe it sold off rip. I don't think it sold as much as Storm 4, but it sold a good number, you know what I'm saying, to bring in money. Because they don't have any competitors, bro. If them niggas had some competitors, and let's say Sparking Zero to release, and it got like $1 million, but then fucking Xenoverse 3, which was published, that's published by a different company, that get published by a different gaming company, that motherfucker drop and get 10 mil. Bandai gonna be like, man, we need to get back to the drawing board. We got to do better. We got to figure something out. We got to uphold these games more. We got to do this. We got to do that. That's gonna make them go into a frenzy, bro. That's what it's gonna do, and that's what they need. That's what we need, bro. It's getting bad for anime games, bro. Like, it's to the point, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I probably never buy. The only other anime game I probably will ever buy will be if they drop a Xenoverse 3. That's the only one, bro. I'm not buying nothing else. I don't give a fuck, bro. Even if I did watch all them animes, bro, I'm not buying it. Like, I'm being real. If I'm being honest, I would have got that Bleach game even without watching it. It was just simple, because I never watched Bleach for anybody that's new sub to me. That was one of the main reasons I didn't buy it, but I still would have copped it because y'all was asking me to. But it's the simple fact that Bandai produced or published the game, and it was just like, bro, I'm straight. I don't want to really buy nothing else from Bandai at this point in time, because at this point I feel as though if I buy something from them niggas again, I'm just supporting they bullshit ass habits, bro, and I don't want to do that. You know, I just don't want to do that, bro. And I know a lot of people still gonna do it, but that's just me thinking, you know, in terms of myself. I know my one measly how much $60 is not gonna change the course of what Bandai is doing. The only thing they could change is, like I said, if they got some type of competition to make them, you know, step their game up and stop being trash, bro. Because like I said, at this point is, bro, they don't have no reason not to just keep doing the same bullshit. Yes, they hear us, or yes, we making these videos all the time talking about, you know, how bad, you know, these games are, you know, and stuff going on with the games. But it don't matter, because all they care about is the money. And if they making money, if they still bringing in bread from the shit, why wouldn't they keep doing it? If it's not stopping them from making money, it's definitely not stopping. Bro, Sparking Zero sold over 6 mil. It sold over 6 million copies. Multiply 6 million times 70. Let's not even account 100. Let's not even account the $100 editions of these games. Multiply 70 by 6 million, and that's how much bread they basically made off this game, bro. Plus, because of the other editions. Why would they give a fuck about fixing the shit we asking for when they just made buku's amount of money off of this weak ass shit, bro? They don't care. Their whole point was just trying to do something to bring in bread. Anyway, that's the only reason they made Tenkaichi, because everybody been asking for it. And somebody probably in the office probably woke up one day and was like, bro, I got the best idea to make us billions of dollars. They've been begging for this game for years. All we got to do is bring back some of the same mechanics, not make it as in-depth as the last one, make it easier to play, make it to where, you know what I'm saying, you know, all we got to do is just make the combat system a little bit similar. All we got to do is make it look as similar as possible on trailers and in certain gameplays with certain, when people playing it on the trailers or like the creators. All we got to do is make it look a little bit similar to BT3 so that they can get it and thinking it's really finna be the same thing and have key signatures, all the good things that the last game had to make it balanced, but it's not. All we want is your money. That's it, bro. That's it. That's all they give a fuck about is the bread. They gonna keep doing this shit, bro. And funny enough, I was looking for a comment of the day, and I found the perfect one just for this video to summarize why Bandai is gonna keep doing this shit, bro. And here you go. So boom, we got Freddie Cunningham 2860. No matter, I'm still getting this pack. This comment right here is on my last video that I just made talking about the Diamond DLC that's finna drop, and you know, the character reveals and shit they dropped on there. And you see what he said? No matter, he's still gonna cop. So basically, he's saying he knows this shit trash. He knows that shit is garbage. However, he's still getting it, and it's because of shit like that. That's why the game is trash. That's why games will continue to be trash. Not just why it's trash. That's why games will continue to be trash, because of shit like that. They know they can do that, bro. They know they can do that. In my opinion, I feel as though they tested it out first with Storm Connections. They tested it out first with Storm Connections, because with Storm Connections, that's all they did on there was basically just release a DLC every few months. And it was only one character with them, but it's just crazy, bro. Like, it's just, bro, this shit is real life insane, bro. And it just is what it is at this point, bro. Unless another company comes and like buys the rights to certain games or certain animes off of Bandai. But we're going to keep dealing with this same problem, bro. It probably won't be another great anime game for a long time, bro. Another great fighting game for a long time. And that just is what it is, bro. Can't really do nothing about it at this point except just not buy the shit, bro. Like I said, that was one of the main reasons why I didn't buy that Bleach game. Because the Bleach game, if I'm being honest, it did look kind of fun. I mean, like I said, I have no idea. None of them characters. The only character I know on Bleach is Ichigo. Even that's the only nigga I know. But like I said, man, it's sad to see where we is right now when it comes to this shit. It's just sad, bro. It's sad. It's sad, bro. People, bro, it's just because we in a day and age, bro. And I said it in the past few videos. We in a day and age where niggas are so, they don't have any attention span, bro. So all they got to do is just get something waved in their face that looks sparkly and they gonna buy it. That's all they got to do, bro. I'm like, bro, Fortnite, I'm telling y'all, Fortnite was the one that first made it popular to do that shit, bro. They started dropping all them skins on there and people was buying them left and right. Bro, I done been over little kids, bro, my little cousin's houses, bro. I done been over my little cousin's houses, bro. I go in there, bro, them niggas that have every skin, bro. Every skin possible. And I'm just sitting here in my crib, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro, I'm the type of nigga, I literally play a game like, I play a game like Fortnite and I literally not have no skins, bro. That's how it, like, I'm telling you. I'd have been the type of nigga to play a game like Call of Duty, not buy no skins and just play Call of Duty without buying shit on there, bro. I play Call of Duty or 2K and I ain't walking around with no doodle shirt and gray, but I literally have one fit. I'm not on that bitch buying everything on there, bro. Swear to God, bro. So that's what I'm saying. I feel as though, and I just said it before, I feel as though Fortnite ruined gaming. And it's not because Fortnite is a bad game, but Fortnite introduced a lot of different, Fortnite introduced something to the gaming world, which was, okay, all we got to do is drop new sparkly stuff for them to see, drop skins, drop DLC, and we just gonna get their money like that. We not gonna worry so much about gameplay or making sure the game is basically, you know, a crazy game, making sure it's something that's groundbreaking. All we gotta do is just keep dropping DLC to keep them engaged. That's all we gotta do. You know, at least from a multiplayer game standpoint. For multiplayer games, that's 100% the way, bro. That's 100% the way, bro. That's 100% the way. In my opinion, like I said, the last great Bandai game that released, like anime wise, if I had to say, would probably be Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I think that's the name of it, or Dragon Ball Kakarot. That's probably the last great one. If I had to say, I think that released after Fighter Z, if I'm not mistaken. That's 100% the last great anime game that released. And funny enough, it's a single player game that's based around story mode, so they couldn't really incorporate, you know, the system where they just drop DLC to keep the game alive. Because even if you don't get the DLC on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, it is a lot of stuff to do on there. You have to level up you can go and level up all the characters on there, bro. Play through the story. You can keep playing through the story multiple times and it gets more fun. You can play through it on a harder difficulty. It's a lot of stuff to do on that game. Like, to this day, I still haven't completely like leveled up every character. Like, that's probably what I do whenever they drop the Diamond DLC on there. And it makes sense to see something like that. It makes sense to drop a DLC on like a story mode DLC to add on to the story. You know, that makes sense. And it's not to say that it don't make sense on Sparking Zero, but that's the only reason Sparking Zero gonna be alive for a little while longer is because of DLC. That was the only reason Storm Connection was gonna be alive for a little while longer, because of the DLC, bro. Story mode games, they not really gonna rely on the DLC as much as, in my opinion, as much as a game like a Storm or a Sparking Zero. They not relying on it as much, bro. You know, because it's still gonna be stuff to do. It's a story mode game, you know. Like, should no multiplayer game be relying on DLC? It should be relying on the multiplayer aspect. You know what I'm saying? It should be relying on the fact that you can play with your friends and make more modes to where it's more fun. It should be the fun of the game that's making us come back, not DLC. DLC, what the fuck? It's a multiplayer game. The whole aspect of a multiplayer game is to be fun and be fun to play with your homeboys, bro. It's not fun to play Sparking Zero no more, bro. It's not fun. Like I said, if they made it to where you could play on the same, y'all see, I had to go ahead and cutscene this nigga. But if they made it to where you could fight on the same team as your friends, that's something, in my opinion, that's the only thing that could possibly save Sparking Zero. Because I could probably get my homeboys to download that game back and play it with me probably every other day and just have fun on there. I bet money we could, especially if they put some rewards. Easy. That's simple. But they don't care about the game enough to do that, bro. They don't. You know, that nigga Furitani, whatever that nigga name is, but that nigga sitting back in his mansion probably got like 20 wives, bro. That nigga probably got like 20 wives, bro. After Sparking Zero sold as much as he did, that nigga got all that, bro. All them billions, that's all in his bank account. With his 10 wives, they fanning him, feeding him grapes. One of them massaging his feet, one of them massaging his shoulders. You feel me? I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, that's all they care about. Yeah, like I said, y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about the stuff I was talking about in this vid. I hope y'all enjoyed this shit. I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And Don Coolio out, bruh.